A really quick update. I was let go from myself and Yo Video Games were let go from the channel network that has been managing those channels literally forever. So we were let go due to copyright claims on older videos. Nothing recent. So that means that the older videos, the boss rages, even though they were privated, even though they were I did my best to try to re-edit them as much as I could. It wasn't enough. So even though you couldn't even watch them, I still have those videos and their history and their views. Even with all that effort, it still wasn't enough. So, and a very hasty decision, the company that owns the company that I work for was immediately like, we're getting rid of them. Getting rid of all these people. So it wasn't just me, it was hundreds of legacy people. Hundreds of legacy channels that have been with that company for a very long time. A very long time. But there is a silver lining throughout all this, and what's funny is that in my life, I have found that the moments where it seems like the most aggressively difficult, because I was like, oh, well, what the hell do I do now? Do I just go to another channel network and deal with shit? This isn't specifically YouTube in this situation. The funny thing is, the first people that were reaching out to me was actually YouTube representatives. People that work at YouTube that are like, hey, we watch the channel a bunch. Get a hold of me and tell me what the hell's going on. So I got a hold of them, and I broke down the situation, and they were pretty much saying there could be some small differences between you and switching to YouTube independently. So I don't work for a middleman anymore. I would technically make videos directly for and just put them up on YouTube. So I work for myself, and YouTube just pays me the AdSense on stuff, which is cool. But the idea was, if you were under a channel network back in the day, they would protect you. They would be like, if you run into these problems, we'll actually go to YouTube and we'll go to these people and fight them for you to actually keep your videos like monetized. That doesn't really exist anymore. And YouTube has been kind of aggressively trying to get rid of these giant multi-channel networks because there is a middleman in this situation, and YouTube doesn't seem to want a middleman anymore. They don't seem to want to. So it doesn't mean that all multi-channel networks are bad. Some of them actually help out channels greatly, and some of them are great for people that need channel growth. But in my situation, we're about to hit 1 million subscribers. I average like 7 to 12 million views a month. The YouTube channel is doing better than it ever has been. And I think Yo Video Games at this point is doing better than it ever has been. And they decided to let us go, like, when we're within potentially a month or two away from 1 million subs. So I was like, well, what the hell do I do with my channel now? The hell is going to happen? And the whole thing behind it is that I don't really need to deal with these networks anymore because the channel's already doing fine. I don't specifically need growth. Like, I just want the people that are watching my videos to be able to watch them. Like, I actually don't care if a majority of them are monetized based on the music. That was my whole argument, was that if these Boss Rage and Assist Me and Fighting History episodes, these big giant editing projects that I've made hundreds of videos on over the past nearly a fucking decade, if people can't watch that the way it was originally intended on my channel, then what the hell do I do to get it back up? And before, I couldn't do anything. Funny thing is, a lot of the YouTube guys were directly telling me, you can put those videos back up as long as you don't monetize them. And that's all I've ever asked for. Like, for the years, I have been aggressively trying to let me get the Boss Rages back, let me get the old Assist Me's back, let me get the Fighting History episodes back, all the Evo compilations. I still have those videos. They're not deleted, they're just privated. And they would never let me, the network would not let me do that because it was putting them in a bad standing, even if you couldn't see them. So YouTube is like, yeah, you're fine, you can do that. And we'll help you on some of the other editing things if you need to get stuff edited. So believe it or not, YouTube was actually very helpful in this situation, which was cool. And they actually have, for YouTube partners, like a different partner, like, contact thing that you can get a hold of and try to let them know, and they try to get back to you as soon as possible, which is great. The funny thing is that this isn't technically YouTube. This is a channel network, which is a different aspect of YouTube that some people don't realize exists, which was a very big part of it in the early teens, like 2011 all the way till 2015. The funny thing is that I was worried. So what's going to happen to my channel once I get dropped? Because I'm getting dropped tomorrow morning, and I get to wonder what the fuck happens. Like, what happens to my channel? Is like, am I going to get hit with copyright strike after copyright strike after copyright strike? Is like, am I just going to get super screwed on everything? And he said no. Like, that process, the way the system scans for things, the way the content ID system works, would have already found all the videos that have music on it, which it did. And I'm completely willing to pass monetization on those. And if some people that made music on this want to take all the money from it, so be it. Like, I don't care. I just want the legacy of like 1 million to like 1.5 million views on Street Fighter 4 and Asura's Wrath and Third Strike and like Shadow J, all those boss rages and the Alien Assist Me movie. You can have the ad revenue from that shit. I don't care. I just want the comments. I just want like the history. I want the viewership. Like the fact that all that stuff is there. I want people to see that, wow, this came out back in 2013 and a bunch of people really liked it. This is super cool. Oh, does this guy make more content like this? Sure, I'll subscribe to him. That's what I want. Like, I don't care about the money on those videos. So I just want them to be on my goddamn channel. And that might be a wonderful side effect of this happening, that once this does take place, I can get my videos back, which makes me so... I've been bummed out, like, not to mention the crazy amount of stuff that happened with Marvel Infinite in 2017, but the same thing happened at the end of 2016, where that whole time when the bullshit with Marvel Infinite was happening, I was losing my shows. I was literally like, I had to put a complete hold on Fighting History, I had to put a complete hold on a whole bunch of boss rage stuff till I had to understand what was targeting my videos to put myself in dangerous standing. And it didn't even matter. All that effort didn't even matter because they eventually dropped me anyway. But if I just go through YouTube directly, and if it's as they say it is, and it's like I can just partner up my channel again, like apparently monetizing a YouTube channel that has like decent viewage is very easy. And they'll accept it really fast. So we'll find out. I mean, the channel isn't going anywhere. And apparently if there was ever anything good, ever anything that was in threat of being copyright struck, then it would have already have happened. Like, and it really end up might being a blessing in disguise. Yep, Jason assist me. Like, I can actually show you guys some of this shit. Hold on a second. I can actually show you guys that these videos aren't gone. They are absolutely still here. I never got rid of them because I didn't want to get rid of the comments. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can pull it up really quick. I mean, I know everyone is saying go completely independent, do a Patreon, but like Patreon, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I feel we already get a lot of support from people that gift to us and sub to us for very little reason here on Twitch. And I know YouTube's a different platform, and everyone says just do. There's nothing wrong with Patreon. There's nothing wrong with channels that do Patreon. There's nothing wrong with a channel that does Patreon similar to if they do Twitch like I do. It's just like a completely last-ditch effort if this stuff didn't work. So I don't need to do a Patreon right now. If I can just get things back to kind of the way they were before I get dropped, then we're good. And I mean, I don't... And everyone says just do more sponsors. I did more sponsors than I usually did. We had a Shenmue sponsor. Well, it was streamed as well for the most part. But we had like Shenmue and Final Fantasy 14 and Venom on DVD and like Asus laptops. We did all that shit. So yeah, I mean we've done. I've done more than I usually do. And chat room, you'd be blown away at what I could get if I accepted anything. Like, but I just don't. The amount of ad deals I get offered is absolutely crazy. But the thing is, I'm not going to do something unless it kind of lines up with what I already do, whether or not it's like laptops or Venom, which I think was relevant because we talked about it a lot, and I fucking play Venom and Marvel. Or Final Fantasy, which I actually played earlier this year, and shit like that. I don't think it is... Yeah, I mean, I'm just not. Like, I'm not gonna sell you guys on something that I don't think is completely relevant. Even though it's worth a lot of money, I just have to decline that shit. But every once in a while, something comes along, I'm like, yeah, that works, I can do that. So, I mean, absolutely, you have to sell out every once in a while. It is the nature of this, but you would not believe the money that mobile games have, Chad. It is fucking crazy. Like, it is insane what these mobile companies are willing to do for getting their mobile game, whether or not it's a fighting game or whatnot, exposure in some way. It's fucking crazy. Blows my mind. Mobile games are crazy. I just have zero interest in mobile games, whether or not they're fighting games or whatever. I think the only way you're going to get me to ever play a mobile game is if it's Marvel vs. Capcom. If there's like a mobile version of a Marvel vs. Capcom that shows up for like Marvel 4 or something, whenever that happens, yeah, I'd be good. I would be good. But yeah, chat, check it out. I can show you right now these ones that popped up. All of these videos are privated. I privated 30 million views worth of video, but all of these I can't show you anymore because of copyright reasons. SVC Boss Rage, Fighting History 1 and 2, Dark Souls 3, cool Samurai Showdown 2 compilation, my Xbox dying video. All of it is due to a little company, a little musical group called X-Ray Dog that used to make trailer music that was YouTube safe many a year ago. And since all of that stuff was YouTube safe back in the day, we could actually fucking do shit with it. Suddenly it wasn't. Suddenly it was not YouTube safe anymore. And they got bought out by a giant conglomerate that bought a whole bunch of other music companies and a whole bunch of other music. And then there's my first Bloodborne stream. And then suddenly it was no good. And they started aggressively going after people. Aggressively. And that's what did it. That was it. This trailer, this little snippet, I could have 2 seconds of this trailer music and I am super fucked. And that was in so much of my old content because it was, even those small parts of it, like, it's not X-Ray Dog's fault. Like, it's once again, like, this isn't YouTube's fault. There's many like things you have to account for. It's because the people that now own X-Ray Dog's music are aggressive on this shit. Like, they are not even 2 seconds. Like, it is absolutely crazy. The crazy part is that it was completely fine before. But yeah, check it out. Killer Instinct moments, top moments from Evo, top 5 hype is 20. Like, all. And this is why I didn't make an Evo moment thing this year, is because I was like waiting to hear which songs can I use for this stuff. Like, what is there actually? Yeah. So there's a lot of really old stuff on here. I have no idea why this one is. Oh, you know why? Because we showed our movie during this panel. This is just a few examples, chat room. There's many more, but the wonderful thing, the most wonderful thing, is that all these goddamn videos would come back. No, the Neo playthrough, I actually, it's not unlisted. It's I'm sorry, it's not gone. The Neo playthrough was that way because I just didn't want to publish 4 videos of the Neo playthrough, so I made the other ones private, and you have to follow the link to the next one, so it's like unlisted. Anyway, yeah, here's a couple of other ones. These ones are unlisted, and there's a shit ton of them. And the good news is that if this all works out, they're coming back. Like, Street Fighter 87 Boss Rage, SF5 Boss Rage, I don't think anyone cares about that. The original Master Fortress and Cloud Smash Brothers, I might be able to get that back. Shinnok Boss Rage, Assist Me Jason, original CVS2 Boss Rage, Asura's Wrath, Third Strike, Shadow Jago, Soul Calibur 2. Yeah, there's just a lot of bullshit in here that I've had to take off. It was no shit. 30 million views, like a giant legacy of my channel, gone. So hopefully it comes back. I mean, hopefully I'll actually be able to share that stuff with you guys again and not have other people have to upload it to YouTube. the shittiest thing is when I come across these like other channels, and I've come across several channels that re-upload them and they start monetizing them somehow, and I'm like, I can't even put my own video on my own channel, yet other people can put it up and make money off it. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? This is so weird. I really hope so, dude. I really hope it all gets figured out. So, I'm working on it. I'm very, 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 very much working on it. Anyway, let's play this game. And like I said, it could be an absolute blessing in disguise. The same thing's gonna happen to the Yo Video Games channel. They're removing us completely. And we might just go through YouTube directly.